Hello friends, welcome to ZENPod once again. Today in our studio we have a doctor who was awarded the Icon of North Bengal by the governor. Dr. Kaushik Bhattacharya did his MBBS and MS in surgery. He settled down in Siliguri and is working as a specialist in surgery for the Central Armed Police Forces Composite Hospital. Dr. Bhattacharya is a member of the editorial board Indian Journal of Surgery and a sectional editor. He has more than 70 publications in various international and national surgical journals. Kaushik has delivered the prestigious Dr. Santokh Singh Endowment Oration at the Association of Surgeons of India conference. He has received the fellowship from the Association of Surgeons of India, the Fellow of the American College of Surgeons, and has recently been conferred the fellowship from the Royal College of Surgeons, Glasgow. He is also a member of the National Academy of Medical Sciences. Kaushik has performed many critical surgeries for the BSF, SSB, CRPF, ITBP and other paramilitary forces, and he also helped the Indian Army in major surgeries during time of crisis. Kaushik has been awarded the Director General Border Security Commendation role thrice. He is associated with the Rotary Club of Siliguri and takes part in a lot of social activities. Join me in welcoming the icon of North Bengal, Dr. Kaushik Bhattacharya, to ZENPod. Hi, so ladies and gentlemen, we have Dr. Kaushik Bhattacharya on the podcast with us today. Kaushik, welcome and lovely having you on the site.
Thank you. It's wonderful for me to be in your podcast station. Thank you, Venki. It's been a long time we had a chat. Thank you so much for calling me.
Pleasure, Kaushik. Let me start by asking you my trademark question. How do you define spirituality?
Very difficult question, Venki. I'm not at all a very religious person, and neither I go too much to the temples. To me, spirituality means if you do good for somebody and you get blessings. That's what I call as a spirituality. It may be small thing, cross a blind man a road. He blesses you, that's a spirituality for you. I mean, that's what I feel. Even as a surgeon, sometimes I waive off my fees for poor patients, and he gives blessings in disguise. I mean, so that's a spirituality for me. I do not believe too much on temples and going to all these things, but if I do good to somebody and he gives me blessings in return, that's spirituality for me, which is way above something which is unseen, and the power for that.
I am so glad, Kaushik, you separated the religion from spirituality. And it is so true, isn't it, that we tend to stop being good human beings, and then we go to the temple and we pour milk on God and we stand in queues to pray to God and then come out and behave like, so I'm so glad you actually brought it out. Very true. But I like your definition. And that's a very beautiful couplet by Kabirji where he says that, when I give, I keep my eyes down because I don't know whether the person I'm giving to is Narayan himself in the real roop, right?
Yeah.
So
exactly. Yeah. And I have seen that. Venki, many times, I have waived off my surgical fees.
How nice.
And God has given 2-3 patients to return the next day, to compensate what I have lost. I mean,
there you go.
Not that economics, but I'm just telling you. Yes. So, you give something, you get back something else. So it's like a balance. So that's what spirituality is all about.
Awesome. You have been in the medical field for 3 decades now, a long time. You are a veteran. How has it been so far, Kaushik?
It's a roller coaster ride, Venki. It's sometimes you are on the top of the world. You feel good. You feel that you are wanted, and sometimes you feel very depressed when any of your surgical patients become bad, and you are stressed out, and you do not know what to do. So it's up and down. It's not a very straight line. Sometimes you feel very good. Sometimes you feel very depressed. So that's how the 3 decades of my surgical career has been. And the only thing which has been constant is the passion. We are very passionate about the surgery. The passion has been with me throughout in this 3 decades of my career, 23 years almost, 26 years if I count my MBBS. So we are trying to do something good but it's not a straight line. It's up and downs are there in the career.
Awesome, awesome. And what does a typical day look like for Dr. Kaushik specifically?
There is a line in Zindagi Na Mili Dubara. I think you have seen that movie. There's
Yes, I have.
Wonderful line which I always keep on selling. That is, दिलों में तुम अपनी बेताबियां लेके चल रहे हो तो जिंदा हो तुम, नजर में ख्वाबों की बिजलियां लेके चल रहे हो तो जिंदा हो तुम. So something like that. You are always wanting to do something, and that keeps on moving me. That's how we get in the morning. We go for rounds. We go for my work in the BSF. Then I go back to my chamber, and we have that thing that we must do something good. We must bring out some good results. And every patient whom I operate should go home successfully without any complications. So that's what is the day is all about, and everything goes in that line.
This is nice. The job that you do, the work that you do, and I always say medical is a noble profession. It's a very stressful day. So, and you have beautifully explained spirituality to me. So I'm going to ask you this, Kaushik. Do you feel there is a connection between medicine and spirituality?
Obviously, there is. There is very true. And it has been well documented in the time of COVID-19. I tell you, the very fact that I am safe even today, even after doing work all around and, seeing all the patients and seeing all types of very bad COVID patients, it's only spirituality which is keeping me safe. That's what I cannot guarantee that I'll be safe because I'm taking all the precautions. It is not possible. There's something else which is keeping me safe, and which is spirituality and medicine. That's one part. The other part is my surgical aspect. When we do surgery in good faith, there are sometimes we feel that patient may not live because the surgery has been very disastrous.
Okay.
And even though we have done our best, the next day morning when I see the patient getting up, walking back home, I believe there's something spiritual there. There's something which is not there in my hand, which is something which I cannot describe, something which cannot even I tell you what is it. But there's something beyond me.
Awesome. And I'm going to keep you on to the spiritual bit a little bit more, and I'll tell you why. I have been witness to this, Kaushik. We are having breakfast. You get a call. You pick up your phone, and you speak to somebody for 5 minutes, and then in the next 10 minutes, you are leaving to go to the hospital to perform a surgery. And you've told me this. How do you zone in and zone out, especially situations like this? You are with a friend having a good time.
It's like a mythological, have you seen this mythological movies where, the normal person suddenly turns into a demon or a devil? Like that, The moment we get a call on my phone that the patient is sick or patient is not doing well or there's some emergency, my entire picture changes, my entire format and the approach to life changes. At that moment, I don't bother what is happening in my house, how is my family doing, what is happening. My entire focus goes to the patient. Somehow I have to rush to save the patient or whatever I can do for the patient. So it is something like that where my entire face changes, my entire lifestyle changes when we get a call like that in a sudden call in an emergency. So that's how the entire thing is. We have to change our complete role. The entire role changes. From a friend who's eating in a hotel with you all, suddenly I become something else, and I have to leave that place. I may be counted as antisocial. I may be counted as not a very friendly person, but I have to leave. I can't stay in that place anymore. So that's how the life has been, and people who know me understand that fact of my life.
But that's amazing, and the reason I say amazing, Kaushik, is because you're actually going to perform a surgery on somebody who's probably not well or probably needs a body part removed or fixed, and that's very critical. Which is why I asked you, because clearly there is a higher power that you call on, or there's a deeper energy that you call on, right?
Yes, obviously, there is something beyond us. As I always feel that, because we always feel that we have done the job, but then there's somebody else who is more than us. and making the patient go home safely. I always realize that, when some of the most critical patients, next day when we see, we don't even understand that the patient has undergone surgery. They look so fine. So it's like that. It's something beyond us, which is there. Invisible hand is there always.
Awesome. Medical field has transformed itself in the last 5-10 years, and you've been in the field for 3 decades. And I've been in IT, so I can ask you this question. And we struggle sometimes to keep abreast of technology. We don't know the latest technologies happening. How do you keep in touch, Kaushik, especially when there is so much happening, and everything that's happening in your field is related to saving a life or making a difference to somebody's life, unlike in IT. So how do you keep in touch? Please tell us more about it,
See, now, first thing is, we must have some good friends. There are quite a lot of good friends all over the country who keeps on interacting, with whom we share ideas, number one. Number two is, of course, this social media and all this, web camera and all those things. We are able to see a lot of surgeries. YouTube, we are able to see a lot of surgeries.
Okay.
So, and last but not the least is you have to update and yourself by reading the journals. I am in the editorial board of many of the journals. So in a place like Siliguri, where we are not getting most of the so-called good journals, we have to read it online. So, you have to keep on updating knowledge. We have to keep on reading the journals and find out what's happening in the other places of the country. And the last, but I must tell you one more incident.
Please.
Recently, I was contacted by a Sudanese surgical club. Sudan is such a small country.
Yeah.
And they contacted us and they said, why don't you give a lecture on some topic of your thing? One surgeon from Sudan contacted. And we spoke to all the surgeons of Sudan sitting in Siliguri, which was completely unimaginable maybe 5 years back. Everybody, and we got all the questions. So Sudan people are exchanging ideas. So that's how we update our knowledge. We know what's happening in Sudan. I don't go to that country. I know what's happening because we spoke to the surgeons there. So that's how we update our knowledge.
Wow, impressive. And so when these young doctors come out of college and they talk terminology to you, do you feel a little out of place, or how does it happen in the medical field?
No, we always keep ourselves updated. See to it that even if I don't know something, I go back and read it. And, I don't like to be outdated at all.
Brilliant.
So, it's like that. I have to keep myself I have to keep myself fit, and I have to, it's like a health,
Yes.
In health you keep fit, your knowledge also has to be at par.
True. You do a lot, and you mentioned it in your answer a little earlier. You do a lot of work for the armed forces or BSF or whatever you call them. Give us some examples, Kaushik, because these are the people who, the reason why we sleep well at night, the reason why our country is safe. Tell us a little bit more about them and tell us your experience with them, Kaushik.
It's wonderful. I have been fortunate enough and I have been blessed to serve this people of what we call as Central Armed Police Forces. That constitutes a border security force, that constitutes CRPF, it constitutes ITBP, SSB, CISF, NDRF, and other paramilitary forces. So I am the only surgeon for them in this part of the country. So it's a wonderful journey for me for last almost 11 years now running. I have been serving them. I've been taking care of their family. When they are in the border, when they are serving the border, their children are sick or something, they bring to our hospital.
Okay.
So they have faith in me, and
Nice.
they have given me a lot of respect. It's been a wonderful journey. And I must tell you something more, Venki.
Please.
As I was doing this, a couple of months back, one fine day I got a call from Indian Army, which was not at my job. And their surgeons have gone to the some other border.
Okay.
And there was one patient who has been operated and he was bleeding, and they were not able to stop it.
Oh my God.
So he wanted my help. There's an Indian Army here in this part of the Siliguri. So they sent me the vehicle, picked me up, and we went in the middle of the night. We did the surgery and saved the patient. And I felt really very good to do something for Indian Army. Though I'm doing for others, But Indian Army does not come in my role. They have their own surgeons, they have their own hospitals, they have their own setup. But when they called for my help, and I was one moment when I felt I was doing good for the country, that was the moment, Venki. That's the time when I felt that gave me a little bit of real pride, in my job.
Brilliant. You are I don't know how you were in college. You are a nerd, I'm sure. You are a family of nerds and well-educated, highly educated people. You keep studying, and I always say this and I laugh because I don't remember anything I studied way back then. If somebody asks me to write an entrance test, I'm positive I'll fail. And you go and get yourself conferred a fellowship. And from nonetheless then, FRCS. How do you do that? And tell us about it, Kaushik. That's such a proud moment, right? And I remember the social media post, you put it in a very funny way, but it is amazing. So tell me about it.
No, so FRCS, I must tell you, the Bengalis, they have got affinity for this British degrees, all the Bengali doctors. So, they like to have something beyond their name, either an MRCP or an FRCS, something like that. My dad was also wanting to have that degree, but unfortunately, when I passed my MS, I went and wrote that exam of Royal College and I failed. So, it did not click to me.
Okay.
So I was, somehow it was not in my luck those days. So at this age, when the FRCS was conferred to me by the Royal College of Glasgow, I felt good. It was one dream which my father could not see.
Yeah.
But, it was something which ultimately came, and they had to confer the degree because of my qualifications and everything. So I felt good. That's the only satisfaction I must have.
Brilliant. You must have remembered Dad for sure. I mean,
yes, obviously. Nothing else. Not that this degree is going to make a huge change in my career.
I know.
But it's something which is my father would have loved to see that. That's all.
Yeah, true. Let's get into unraveling the personal side of Kaushik now. We've done enough medical, and one thing you wish, Kaushik, you had not done.
I always feel that I should not have been harsh to my kids. I was always been a little bit harsh to my kids, be it their education or be it their anything. I was very, very strict, and I was very adamant, and I was always making rules, which sometimes I feel that my kids were revolting. So now, looking back, I always feel that I should not have been so much harsh on my kids.
That's very personal. Thank you very much for sharing that with us. Somebody outside of your field who has inspired you, and why?
I think the only person I will always tell this is of course, my wife has made me a fan of him. That's Roger Federer. I always watched Roger Federer as my person. That fellow for last 15, 20 years has been playing, and every time he wins his title, be it, to defeat all the junior persons year after year in all the times, and that to 4 Grand Slams every time coming in the quarterfinal, semi-final. You feel he's somebody whom I always look up. I don't understand tennis that much, but I just admire that person and the tenacity of the person to win again and again and again. So I look up to him, always.
Wow. The best piece of advice somebody has given to you till today?
Yeah, the best piece of advice was given to me, a very small person. His name will never be known. He was a very small surgeon in a place called Cooch Behar. When I came there for practice, he told me one day that, Kaushik, remember one thing in life, not run after money. Let the money run after you. So I did not understand what he was telling me, but now I understand what he says. He says that do not run after money. Make your name, do your job, let name out, let there be a fame. And at certain times, patient will just start chasing you. So wait till that time when the patient starts chasing you. So do not run after money. Initially, do all your work, give satisfactory result, and one time will come when the patient will start running after you. So I'm waiting for that. That's the best advice I got from somebody.
But when he gave that to you, you must have felt very strange, right?
Yeah, I felt very strange, because, everybody running after money and he's asking me not to put money, I felt very strange. But he said, do your work, give satisfactory result. They will come and they will run after you.
I know you, but for the listeners, did you actually follow his advice, Kaushik?
I did. I did.
I know.
Because, then I understood there is no point of, running after money. Let me just do some good work. Let me see how the thing works. And slowly I could see what he said was true. In the entire North Bengal, I can feel that.
True.
What he has told has been
Very true, very true. Surgery, blood, life, a patient lying, something gone wrong. How do you react or handle? And I'm sure in such a long life career, it happens, right? So
Yeah. I am a little bit bad in that my reactions are very, I become very depressed, and, I'm not very good in handling crisis situation.
Oh.
So I have to depend on my wife. She has been the
nice.
person who is taking the most of the, and she gives me that confidence that don't worry, I have to fall back on the shoulders of my wife.
Nice.
I am not very good in handling crisis. Everything goes all right. I'm very happy, and I want it to be go all right. But if by even 1% there is some problem, I'm not a very good person to handle the crisis.
Wow. If you were to stand up in front of an audience of, let us say, or let us say you are today, and now that you've done that, let's say today somebody actually does something wrong, one of your junior doctors, and he comes up to you and he says, "Doctor, you know what, sir, I messed up." What would your reaction be?
No, I will go out all out to save him. I'll definitely go out all out to save him. My reaction will...
Foolish thing Kaushik has done.
Yeah, I must tell you, Venki, we were in third year students, MBBS, third year students. And that is the time, when third year, we feel we have become doctors because your first MBBS is over. By third year, you are in the thing, and by the time 4.5 years, 5.5 years, you become doctors. But third year, you get that aura that you have become a doctor.
Okay.
The most foolish things which you have done is, we used to put stethoscope and go in public places like in market, in cinema halls, showing that we are doctors.
Yeah.
That is, something which is really foolish. And I now looking back, I think I should not have done all those things, just to create an aura, just to impress people. We used to put a telescope in the neck and go in the market. That's something which now I feel we should not have done.
Awesome. Yeah, now that you tell me that, yeah, we are all very eager to display our skills, right? And doctor is a big thing. So awesome. Who do you look up to?
My wife and my mother. The two ladies who has been with me in thick and thin. I don't give big names. It's only my wife and my mother. They have been with me always. Whenever I have a problem, in all my triumphs, in all my achievements, and in all my failures. So I always look up to them for anything, for any advice. It's always the two ladies of my house. And now, of course, my daughter is coming to an age, so she also gives me advice. Yes. So, it's like that, it's a combo effect of the three ladies in my house.
How nice, how wonderful. I mean, your mother must be very proud to hear this. So nice, Kaushik. If Kaushik had not been a doctor, what or where would you have been?
Looking at my face and looking at things, I would have been the best as a movie villain. I should have a villain in a movie. So that's a role which always suits me. And I wanted to become a villain, I could have done wonders in that role,
Interesting. I don't think anybody, you're the first guy who said villain. I would typically think people will want to be a hero or...
No. Hero, I should have the looks. I don't have the look, You can be a hero,
Yeah. Thank you very much. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's get to a little bit of a serious topic now. You've actually done a lot of good work in the medical field, Kaushik, and you've been bestowed with the title, the Icon of North Bengal. What does it mean to you and how does it feel? I mean, when you received it, how was it?
When I received it, it was good, but it is something like a recognition to me, and I don't consider it as a very great yardstick of thing. It's okay. They have given me a icon of the North Bengal, but I feel if I get recognized from the people, I feel it is much more important to me than by any of the other persons or any ministers or something like that. I want to be recognized by the people of this part of the country rather than anything else. The day I get recognition from the people, I feel I'll be very happy. Something like, Abdul Kalam Azad the way he is recognized by the entire country as a president of the country, that's how you feel good in that way, So my thing is, I feel good as I talk, but it does not make me anything extra. It's like any other. I'm like any other person.
Awesome. Your Eureka moment or your top of the world moment, and tell us in detail about it. I'm sure you have many, but which is the one that is fresh?
Top of the world is when I did my first laparoscopic surgery independently without any assistant. Laparoscopy is one place where surgeons like to excel, and there are not many people who are willing to teach laparoscopy because it is such a complicated thing. And many surgeons feel that if you learn laparoscopy, you'll be competitive to them, so they don't want to learn in that way also.
Okay.
So either way, laparoscopy is something where you keep on going to somebody's thing and seeing again and again and again, and you do not get the hands-on training immediately. So when I was able to do the first case of laparoscopic gallbladder independently, without anything, I felt top of the world. So that is what I feel when I feel, yes, I can do this surgery, and I need not go to somebody else. I need not have to depend on somebody else, or I don't have to think of anybody else assisting me. I can do it independently. So that is the first time when I could do a laparoscopic surgery independently, I felt myself at the top of the world.
Brilliant. And would you then be willing to share this knowledge and experience with your youngsters or younger doctors?
Yeah, I do. I love to share my experience and knowledge, and whatever I have gained, I always love to share it so that they also should not have so much of difficulty which I had. We had to face a lot of difficulties. Correct. I feel that they should not have the same problems.
Very true. Is there something has it occurred to you that there is something you want to do over the next 3 to 5 years, or is there a plan, or if somebody were to ask you to do a roadmap of Kaushik or what he wants to do for the next 5 years, what are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things you would want to do, Kaushik?
First thing, my wife is very much interested in plantations, and I want to have a good orchid and a good plantation, a good park with a lot of greeneries all around. Wow. So we are looking for that, so that there's a lot of greeneries, and I want to contribute something to the ecosystem. Okay. So that's one thing which I love to have, good greenery things, a good field, and of course some cultivations. So my medical field, after medical field, I would like to divert myself in a little bit of agriculture and all those plantation things. Lovely. So that's how I want to be diversified.
Lovely. If somebody walked up to you tomorrow morning and said, "Here is $1 million," what would you do with that money, Kaushik?
I will try to give it to somebody who needs it, who wants it, and definitely the person who is in need are the people who are in a very bad shape of very bad shape. And I would love to do something also for the paramilitary forces, so that even they are benefited. So if I get something like that, I'll definitely like to do something for the people who are standing in the borders and guarding this 24 hours. It's not an easy job,
Absolutely.
So I would like to do something for them or two. So if I get $1 million, I'll definitely like to do something good so that they are benefited. Something, for BSF, CRPF, anybody should be benefited with that money.
Very nice. I really hope they do tune into the show and listen to this, because so true. We as human beings, if I had asked somebody else this question, they would have probably said, I would buy a house in California by the beach, or put it in fixed deposit. Now that mutual funds and equity is doing badly, put it in fixed deposit and earn money. But this is so nice to say. And I think this is where the differentiation between good doctors and good human beings and all of that come in, I guess. So I'm glad. I'm privileged to have you as a friend, Kaushik. Truly.
Thank you.
Truly.
Me too.
No, seriously. Let's do a little bit of a rapid fire, if you don't mind. Yeah.
Yeah.
So these
sure.
answers can be short or one word or whatever you want, right?
Yeah.
So Kaushik is
Fast and the Furious. Sometimes I'm very fast.
Wow.
And sometimes I'm furious. So it's like Fast and the Furious.
A patient is
patient is good, bad, and ugly. Sometimes you get good patients,
Okay.
Sometimes you get bad patients, and sometimes they are so irritating that you feel that you are. So it's like patient is good, bad, and ugly, and it can be of any of the things. You have to treat them accordingly.
Brilliant. A surgeon is
Brave heart. They have to be a brave heart. Your heart has to be very brave. The surgeon has to be a brave heart. Anything else can be less, but their heart has to be very strong for a surgeon. He has to withstand all the crisis situations. So the surgeon has to be a brave heart.
Brilliant. Medicine is?
Medicine is in pursuit of happiness. We have to go all out to seek happiness. So medicine is, to me, is in pursuit of happiness. You have to make people happy. If you are giving a treatment and the patient does not become happy, it's a treatment failure. Your medicines is not working. So if you can make a person happy, even by talking.
So, okay, and that was my last question on rapid fire. And I don't know whether you realized, but all the 4 answers were movie names.
Yes.
Yeah. So you said that Kaushik is fast and furious. A patient is good, bad, and ugly. A surgeon is a brave heart, and then medicine is in pursuit of happiness. So awesome. I mean, you surely should try movies, Kaushik. And the movie in which you are a villain, I want to be a hero. So I get to beat you up, and I get the girl. So
yes.
This is so awesome. How medicine has really gone a long way, Kaushik. What do we need to do more, or what do doctors need to do more or differently in the medical field?
I always feel that now in medical field, we need doctors who have a lot of empathy and has a lot of sympathy. They should give a lot of time to the patient, and do not believe too much on giving investigations blindly without seeing the patients.
Very nice.
The problem has come when we see people just scribbling investigations after investigations without touching the patient. So my personal thing would be to be having some kind of empathy, to look after the patient's financial condition also, and understand how he is and how to give treatment, and talk to the patient, spend time with the patient. That's what is my way of looking at it, because not many doctors have time for the patients. They just write 5 investigations and tell them to come after 3 days after beginning the investigation.
Correct.
And when they come after investigations, they see only the investigations, they don't see the patient. So I want the future generation to understand that the patient is important, not the investigations.
How nice. My last question. Your life-defining moment or your turning point, Kaushik, in life?
My life-defining moment has been the accident which I had, while coming from in this place. And I was...
I'm sorry, I hope you're okay. I hope you're okay sharing it with the listeners.
Yes, no problem.
Okay, please. Thank you.
I had an accident. I was practicing in a place called Cooch Behar, which is about 1.5 hours away from this place. And I was a leading practitioner there. And I was not able to come to, my wife used to practice in Siliguri, which is about, again, 150 kilometers away. Mm-hmm. And I was the leading practitioner in that town, and I was not able to leave my practice, and I was not able to come to Siliguri. And my wife was finding it difficult to manage the kids alone in this part of the country. So I was having a little bit of problem. I was not able to leave the practice there. My wife was having kids there. He was having a plastic surgery practice in this part of the country, in Siliguri. So we were not able to match, and we were not seeing any solutions. We didn't know how to do, because I can't leave that practice. I had a massive practice there.
Right.
That was the time when I met with an accident, and that was the time when I had a life-defining moment. Everything changed, The moment I had an accident, my wife said, "Stop everything. Enough of this. Come to Siliguri."
Wow.
And I shifted my practice to Siliguri, where I was no one. I was zero. From the top of the ladder, I became almost zero in Siliguri. And then again, I had to start building from here. Here, nobody knew me. None of the hospital wanted to give me attachment. So it was a life. I have seen the worst of the life. I have seen I've seen the top zenith, and I have seen the most bottom thing also. So that's I have seen both the sides. And I came here. Then I slowly picked up my practice. Slowly got attachment with the border security force, and slowly now my practice is on the is rising. So that's how I call is a life-defining moment. If I had not had that accident, it may not have been possible for me to come to Siliguri.
How nice. So that's sorry to hear of your accident, and I'm glad that you're fine and you're good and
Yeah.
you're with a family. What would be your and I'm asking this question? It's a bonus question for the listeners. What would
Yeah.
be your advice to somebody who has to start all over again, like you did?
You have to be ethical. You have to be straightforward, and there is no slip shot. There is no cut shot. I mean, your surgical practice, or in fact anywhere, you cannot have. There is nothing called a ladder to success. There is nothing like that. You have to work hard. Every time you have to struggle, you have to work hard. But what counts is your truthfulness, your trust, and you have to be very straightforward. If you cannot do, you must tell the patient it is not possible. You cannot keep on doing some type of slip shot and all those things. So my advice to the junior person, whoever is listening, is please be very straightforward. Please be, you think that the patient is a part of your family and you treat as if you are treating a family, then you will understand how is it. Give them good advice. Even if you feel that patient may run away hearing your advice, but give it. Let the patient decide. I feel that those things count a lot. Patients start having trust, patients start building faith, and patient then depends on you. And then slowly you get that thing that the doctor is the best person. This doctor is good. So, you have to have that moment, when you build that trust among the patients in the society.
Awesome. And this so much aligns with what the gentleman who gave you a piece of advice, right? It's
Yes,
so
exactly.
much aligned.
Exactly.
So, truly God bless him, right? So,
Exactly.
whoever it is, awesome. Kaushik, on that really wonderful and touching note, I want to thank you for coming to this podcast. It is a privilege having people like you who have accomplished so much, but are still so humble and forthcoming in their talks and are still humane, if I may call them. So I thank you very much for coming, Kaushik.
Thank you, Venki. Thanks a lot. It was my honor for me also to be called for the podcast. And it's really a wonderful opportunity for me to attend the podcast hosted by you. Thank you so much, Venki.
Thanks so much, Kaushik. Thank you.